Traditionally, artisans for me or craftsmen for me were designers before designers or architects came into being, because they were the people who were solving these problems to create everyday objects, and they were challenged to create something new, and they were honored if they could come up with something new, and they were given that value. So crafts evolved and they reached a certain level of excellence, but with fast industrialization and industrial produce, this gap is taking their skills away, because even artisans are using synthetic colors and synthetic materials and using the same techniques, but the materials have changed. Then there is nothing in it. It's just only about for them to sustain their life till they have that skill and knowledge that they can take forward. We need to worry about it because maybe this is the last generation of craftsmen we are left with. If the younger generation doesn't take up that trade or skills further, it's going to fast disappear, and most of it is almost disappeared. And when you're working with craft-rich communities, you realize that there are so many crafts which have been practiced, which are no more practiced, because you discover things while figuring that out.
We tend to lose the power of design when we talk only about objects. I mean, we have cities which are designed. Design is a huge canvas, and for people to look at design as something that changes how we live would be very important, because design permeates everything we do, from solid waste management to our homes, to our cities, to our buses, to our hospitals, everywhere. To look at design and its various opportunities is very thrilling for us in the design community. Business happens, it will still happen, but the intellectual stimulus that you get of design is something that only such initiatives can bring about.
I started experimenting with a few furniture pieces, and at that time it was just something I was interested in, looking at techniques, to develop different kind of techniques of making, not so much as a realized piece itself. So it was much more of an R&D. The embroidery came about because I had a very close friend who works with embroidery. He does embroidery for luxury brands, which is still primarily only on fabrics. And so he opened up his factory to me, and that was actually the starting point in the sense of me even understanding what the possibilities of embroidery could be. And we did a lot of tests and sampling on different materials, and at one point I just came up with the idea of having just a really pure blank canvas, which would just be a very simple process of just drilling holes onto wood and then embroidering onto the wood. Though it sounded simple, the process of even drilling the holes into the wood then landed up being a nightmare, because wood has knots. It's a living material, it's not regular, it's natural material. And because of that, I had someone drilling holes into a piece of wood for over 6 months. The idea of upholstery not just being something that would be wrapped onto wood, but being an integral part of the entire piece. So that's basically how it started off, much more as a conceptual, research-driven piece, which then has different manifestations either on wall claddings or on different pieces that you see today.
To start with, it's a fantastic initiative, and you've already brought together a lot of people. For Raw Collaborative to evolve into something that talks about design in the bigger context would be very, very exciting.
No, I'm really happy to be here. I'm really glad that, and again I speak about this space because it just becomes so important in a context like this, but I would not have exhibited these pieces again because I had decided to just showcase them in Bombay and Delhi, and I'm really glad to, one, bring it to another city, and second, of course, be in a fantastic space like this. I think it also helps being part of like a design venue in that sense. the energy of all the other designers. There's a relationship. Even designers meet one another. Having this kind of an exchange, meeting you all. I think in that sense it becomes quite healthy, and I think there needs to be much more of that kind of an exchange between just designers themselves, because we're all working in a little bubble in different parts of even the same city sometimes, and we never meet. So in that sense, yeah, thank you.
Raw Collaborative for me is the journey. We have to take this journey forward with bringing all the designers under one roof, creating this small community of designers working in India, in the interior furniture and product design, where they are striving to keep the Indianness alive. Talking about make in India, design in India, create in India. I think until and unless we as the end users, we as the consumers do not appreciate, do not start buying or procuring these pieces, it's just a term that we are using, right? So I think we all need to be part of this whole process, be together with the designers who are designing in India and making in India. So we are an actual partners in the whole process.
Raw Collaborative was designed for the designers of India, as we really thought there was a huge gap between the design fraternity by itself. We tend to get so busy in our lives that we've forgotten who's doing what is the background, which designer caters to what kind of styling, which architect is doing what kind of work. So Raw Collaborative's intent and motto is to blend these fraternity together. Let's the designers meet. We want people to meet each other, understand designs across India. The second most important point that Raw Collaborative is focusing on is encouraging Indian furniture. So we really want to stay focused on providing this platform, creating this bridge between the designer and a manufacturer, between a designer to another designer, to just showcase what we have, what India does, what Indian designer does, what Indian furniture has, and that's the intent.